NFC, and I think we shall start it off with we have a pretty monster game in this conference on Thursday Night Football with the Rams and the Seahawks. And my number 1 and number 2 are in this game. I think
Yes.
I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think the Rams are the best team in football. I think they have the guy playing the best. He's quarterbacking the best offense in football. I think they have the best pure play calling mind in football. They have the best two, receiver duos in football. And oh, by the way, they're also getting like something out of Blake Corum and Kyron Williams. And I've been pretty critical of Kyron Williams. And if Corum is able to fill in his shortcomings as like an explosive back, then what is there to really beat around with this offense? I think this offense is incredible. And then you get into the defense, and yeah, the secondary is still leaky, and Emmanuel Forbes literally costed them the Carolina game, but he also kind of won them the Tampa Bay game with how just downhill he is in coverage. But the front for the Rams, like talking about the Lions game specifically, like when this front needs to make a play, like they do, and they have a ton of guys doing it. Like Kobe Turner can do it. Jared Verse obviously, and Fisk can do it. But even like Puna Ford getting a run stop on Jahmyr Gibbs, like that sets up the 2nd and 10 that forces the Kobe Turner sack. So again, like I think their front is how they're driven, and everything else kind of revolves around it. But you guys agree with me on the Rams?
Yeah,
I think the first two. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm right there with you with those first two teams being the Rams and the Seahawks. I'll get into the Seahawks after this. You had mentioned like the one guy that like I don't think has gotten like enough shine on this Rams defense, and it's Puna Ford. Like we had talked about him in the offseason about like this dude is really good and people don't talk about him enough. And again, what he has allowed, as you said, like this Rams defense to do, and like on these early downs to stop the run, to then let all those vicious pass rushers that you had talked about get after the quarterback. He's kind of like the unspoken hero that doesn't get enough love. And I just wanted to give Puna Ford his.
I didn't even mention their
here.
double-digit sack guy, Byron Young. Sorry, he's been incredible, by the way.
Yes.
Like, and he's awesome too. He wears number 0, so like easy to find him, easy to know who he is.
I just wanna say while we're giving Puna Ford his shine, before the Bears signed Grady Jarrett, I wanted Puna Ford. Just saying.
Well, I continue to think that the Raiders drafted the wrong Byron Young. Like I really think that they wanted Tennessee Byron Young and not Alabama Byron Young, but I digress. But yeah, I mean, I'll get into all of our number 2 teams here in the Seahawks. And kind of the same reason that we liked the Texans, and kind of the same reason that we liked the Jaguars, just on a more efficient level on offense, is the same reason that the Seahawks find themselves here as the number 2 team in the AFC. They are one of the best defenses in the entire league. And Sam Darnold and JSN probably have the second best quarterback wide receiver connection, only behind the team we just talked about in Matt Stafford and Puka Nacua. So you have everything that you want to get done on the defensive side of the football, and then you translate to whatever the Sam Darnold experience has been over the last 2 or 3 years, where he has just been great and one of the better quarterbacks in the league, which is just wild to say out loud. And really, I think the only concern with the Seahawks is kind of the point that we had brought up on the recap show, is their run game. I still have a lot of questions about if they can efficiently do that, but I don't think it really matters when the passing game looks as good as it does and the defense is as good as it is. So I think that's why they find themselves at number 2 here for all of us.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, you guys nailed it there, but the one comment that I want to say is, who would have thought we would have been talking about Sam Darnold playing football and meaningful football at that in mid-December?
That's what I'm saying, right?
Because it's like, I mean, congrats to the Seahawks on getting their guy, right? But like, who would have thought? This team looks really good, and I feel like there's a drop off after those first two in the NFC, despite the fact that it is a competitive conference. I would argue more competitive this year than the AFC is, obviously. But like the Seahawks, man, they're so much fun to watch, and they almost lost to old man Phillip Rivers, which raises a couple questions. But it's going to be an epic showdown this week. Matt, who you got for number 3?
Number 3, the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, me too. That's awesome.
Yep. I have the Bears just because I think the floor of this team is just so sustainable, and then I compare it to the rest of the conference. I would have had Green Bay here if Micah Parsons' knee is intact.
I'm saying the same thing. Yep.
And spoiler, they're not even on my list after that injury. I think he is that big of a swing and for them, and this is about Chicago, but like their floor in the run game, just being able to eat up chunks, I think just raises just a level above this conference, above the two teams that I have right now, in a way that I didn't think I would going into it, but I just feel so confident in, like, Ben Johnson is worth 24 points a game. Like, just his scheme alone is going to get them 24 points a game, and the only reason they don't get 24 against Green Bay is because of the interception in a game where you have to throw it to the end zone, and they scored 3 points in the first half on like 3-ish drives. So again, that's like an outlier half. Even if I have my concerns with the quarterback and the overall health of the pass game, because it is still just a work in progress, I think the run game is just so good that I'm willing to just buy the floor when comparing the two teams that we have after them. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Ben?
And then the defense is a gimmick, all right? The defense is a gimmick, but it works, okay? Like, I have to address the elephant in the room. It's a gimmick, but it works. It's Pittsburgh all over. I'm not going to try and solve it. I'm not going to try and do this all year where this is just what they do. They just win the turnover battle, they win the field position battle, and they win games because of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I have the Bears at 3. To be frank, I'm not going to waste any of my breath on this because Ryan will do all of the talking for me. Bears are at 3.
Yeah, I don't want to hit on it too much. I think Caleb is a lot better than what his stats and completion percentage show. The guy showed that, and whatever. But the game against Cleveland, and I know that Cleveland is not a good team, but they have a good defense, right? The game against Cleveland, I think, was a massive get-back game for them, and it was a statement win. One of the things that I was really looking for is overall, like, I want to see, and I think I texted you guys about this and even tweeted it out if you follow me on Twitter, that, I was frustrated because the team itself you don't see until about the second half, right? But that game against Cleveland, you were able to see 14 points in the first quarter, and now this team's starting to get a little bit more rhythm and catching a little bit, more heat exactly when you need it. And now they could clinch a playoff spot this week. And when was the last time you could say that about the Bears? It's been a little bit, spoiler alert. But here's the thing. It's an exciting time in Chicago. Sure, the defense could be better. Sure, the pass rush could be better. Sure, the passing game could be better. But like it or not, this is a fun team. And I don't think I could be asking for much more. Like, I'm pounding the table for the playoffs strictly because I'm having so much fun this year. I just don't want it to end. So, without further ado, I mean, I don't think we necessarily have to hit on too much more with the Bears. I think we covered it. But massive concern this week for the absence of Rome Odunze and probably Luther Burden as well. But we progress and we move on. So
who's that undrafted guy y'all had? Big step up for him.
Oh, you're talking about Jade Burton, dude.
It doesn't, yeah.
Jade Walker. I mean, not Burton. Jade Walker, yeah, the guy that does like the or whatever it is, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
he's
saying, where he's like
for the
floating.
A&M kid. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see a lot of the Alameda Zacchaeus, Devin Duvernay, you know what I mean, like those guys, and then obviously DJ Moore on Saturday. But like, you know, I would like to see Walker brought up. I think that'd be cool.
They
You know, a little
listen.
gimmick for the
I don't
fans.
think I don't think either of those guys can run those like deep stop like comeback routes. Those like 12 to 14-yard stop routes. Like that's why Burden. It was so awesome to see him without a Doomsday because he could run all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
where I don't know if Zacchaeus can. Like I don't think Zacchaeus can really put his foot in the ground and
Yeah.
separate like that at that depth. So I do think like Walker might be an actual player because I remember watching him in preseason. Like there's something.
that
There's
catch
it's not
was
nothing.
crazy. Yeah, he deserved the roster spot that he was given. But number 4 is kind of interesting to me, right? Because Matt already said the Packers was off of his list.
Yep.
I've got the 49ers at 4. I
Mhm.
think this is the team that, you know, probably fits this spot here. Strictly because, I mean, oh, there we go. Sorry. Strictly because, you know, they are winning games. You know what I mean? They're competitive in a very competitive division, probably the league's most competitive division. And I mean, they're still in play for the 1 seed. You know what I mean? Like this is a team that is worth noting. Now, I've got some concerns. I personally, my own bias, I don't think they're as good as advertised. You know, I think they're better than a lot of the teams in the NFC. I mean, obviously 7 playoff spots. I think there's probably a good, what, I mean, 8 or 9 teams in the NFC that could make it. But I mean, the Niners at this spot, like I said, there's a bit of a fall off, and the Bears and Niners, I would say, are around that same tier at least. And you know, that's where I've got them without, you know, further. Well, I will say this: Purdy's playing really good football recently, so you know that's pretty cool. Pretty cool, I guess. But you know, CMC still
Boo.
CMC. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. But yeah, the you know CMC's good, Purdy good. You know what is there not to like? Kittle good. You know whatever. Boring, boring take. I know. Their defense doesn't impress me though. I feel like the Bears are going to button up
I
next week, but we're gonna whatever.
I didn't have them on my ranking, and they wouldn't have even been my honorable mention if I'm being frank.
Nice.
Um,
Glad we
that being said,
glad we at least think the same. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, right. That being said, I'll do what it seems like the two of you guys won't. I'm gonna have the Packers to 4. Yes, Micah Parsons was a big hit. I still like the things that they can get done on the defensive side of the football, and we have said it time in and time out. Literally, it seems like every single episode this year that when Jordan Love is due for one bad throw, 2 bad throws, but other than that, he has been balling out. And Micah Parsons being out doesn't affect how well Jordan Love is going to play. And I have trust in him. I have trust in the offense. They have a little bit of injuries here. Obviously, it's kind of been a week to week thing with Josh Jacobs. Come playoff time, I think Josh Jacobs will probably be fine. I don't want to predict injury and everything, but I think they still have Rashawn Gary, obviously, on the defensive side of the football. He is no Micah Parsons, but he is enough. We forget that they do have Lucas Van Ness. Do with that what you want. But I just this stems more so about the trust that I have within this offense. And I think they can get it done when they need to, and that's why they're going to be at number 4 for me.
Matt.
Staying on the Packers, yeah, I think I get all the reasons to still be like high on this team and invested in this team, but like for me emotionally, like it's just the 2024 Packers all over again, where it's like I the one guy like and Watson being back will still like help them, but it's like oh hey, like Tucker Kraft is like finally creating yards after the catch and being an actual man beater because that was their biggest problem in those high leverage like Minnesota games. He goes down. And then it's like, all this cool stuff they do with Micah on Thanksgiving and even the week after, when they face Chicago, and just being able to be this menacing force and this actual closer of a player, like this Mariano Rivera type player, and he's now gone. And it just, those were the two things that held me back on, like, I still just, I love the quarterback. I love watching him play football, but it's just, it's so hard to keep this investment that I think they could go all the way in comparison to these five teams that I have. But yeah, I get all the reasons to still have them at four. Maybe it's just me holding back because of my investment through this season.
Your emotional investment, yes.
And yeah, I mean they have a lot of guys out, and if we're gonna have to rely on these corners because the pass rush doesn't get home, it could get scary.
Denzel Valentine has been good this year, though.
But oh my goodness, Valentine. I think we have to do my four because you guys are afraid to do it. I still have the Eagles here. I think the Eagles are still
on my list. Yeah.
one of the four best teams in the conference. I think the defense is just still really, really good. And outside of a game against, the Chargers where going into that game, I was like, Hurts has actually been pretty good. I think a lot of people kind of dog on Hurts, but what he's been asked to, he has been reading the field much better. And then he has a game where he has 4 interceptions and even has a double turnover play and has the game losing interception. That is just inexplicable. But again, it's weird with that offense. Are they going to figure it out? I don't know. Hopefully, these next few games, they have the Commanders twice, and Ben, you would know who's in between there. I don't know the team that is in between this. Is the Bills? Okay, let's get Lane Johnson back. We could run the ball, but it's.
Can we?
I still believe in the star levels talent, and I also have the Madden meme where the guy sits up. I also believe that there is a little bit of that too with this team. When AJ Brown is going to be pushed in the playoffs, it's no longer about stats, it's about winning the football game. And I feel like all these guys are just going to collectively lock in, if that makes sense. I don't know. Just because they've done it before, and it's no longer is it oh, we'll figure it out next week. There is no next week now. There is this game. And so I still am bullish on the star talent of this team. I think they went through a weird stretch there. But remember when they just locked up Green Bay for 4 quarters and it just didn't feel close, even though the scoreboard was close?
Yeah,
they still have that level of defensive ability.
Yeah, I mean they're number 5 for me. So I everything that you said, I second. It's just a matter of shocker, the Eagles fan is being pessimistic, right?
Gimmick,
but yeah,
gimmick.
It's not a gimmick. But no, I mean they're number 5 for me. The reason I continue to be bullish is because I've seen the collapse happen once before, literally 2 years ago. So that's why I don't want to get too big for my britches here. But again, I mean, they have the star power to be one of the better teams in the entire league, i.e. last year. And this defense is playing better than what they did last year. And that's a hard task to do. And they still have literally everyone on this team, aside from Mekhi Becton, back on the offensive side of the football that we saw them do throughout that insane playoff run last year. I understand. They're number 5 for me. So I'm not going to leave them off my top 5. Come on now.
They would be my honorable mention if there was a spot for that. For the Eagles, yeah. I've got the Packers at 5. The Packers are still the Packers. They're going to be competitive. The Eagles, that they're the Eagles right now. They're just the team that's gonna win their division and probably be on the 3 spot in the NFC. But I don't want to watch them play anymore. They've been super boring the entire year. You've got divas on the sideline during the entire season. You bring in a stupid positivity rabbit, and nothing works. Your quarterback turns over the ball how many times? In prime time, yeah. Let's bring it up. How many times on prime time did he turn over the ball? And it's like against
Okay,
the
okay,
Chargers.
but he is known to not like. Come on, the
I'm not
turnovers,
saying
like
he's
it
known
was a
for
bad
it.
game,
I'm
but
not
like
saying
he
he's
is
known for it,
known for
but
being
that's the
one of
reason
the.
why I don't. I know, but that's not going to convince me to want to watch this version of this team play.
Yes.
This just happened recently, and that's the point. That's why we do these things, once a month. You know what I mean? So my thing is like, can they go in? Can they win a playoff game? Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys have a point? Do I think that they could lock in? Yes. Do I think they will though? I'm not convinced. I'm not, strictly because
I don't blame you.
if they could lock in, why haven't they? Like,
They
what's
did last
going on
week.
with this offense? And sure, that's awesome.
That doesn't
That's
count.
Yeah, I know.
like, but
I
then
know. I
you
know.
know
They were playing the little league.
I do think it's funny that like Ryan is making great points, and like I am predicated on like what if they lock it? Like
no, because like they are a
what?
good team on paper. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. This team is built to go and win another Super Bowl.
I just want to see them with Lane Johnson in like high leverage spots.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to see it because I think he is like an actual like gravity mover. Mailata has not been that good this year in comparison to what he is. Lane is still like awesome. And so if he could get healthy and they could figure out that part, I want to retain hope that like if this defense is truly one of those, we're going to keep the other team under 20, maybe outside of the Rams. I want to hold out hope that it's like they could play with anybody and they could beat anybody. But your points are absolutely valid. Like
Yes.
They're
buying
just not
stock in the Eagles right
good.
now is the definition of the biased of lows.
Well, here's the thing
Yeah.
too. Like, you're gonna look at the last 4 weeks, and I'm almost gonna chalk it up as 3 weeks because they're gonna win the division. They're not going to play their starters the last week of the season. It's obvious at this point, right? Um, the get back game against the Raiders, he accomplished it, 31-0, right? I mean, Ben brought it up. Hopefully, you see that these next couple weeks against the Commanders and the Bills, right? Because that's the version of the team that you want to show up in a week in and week out basis, right? Especially going into it. And this league is built on getting hot at the right times, and the Eagles can absolutely do that. They have the star power for it. They're pardon my French, a damn good team. You know what I mean? Listen, you got another one I would argue in the Commanders, in another get back game against a division rival. You go beat them on their home turf, and then you go to Buffalo in a playoff like atmosphere to go and test the waters out before you rest your starters, hopefully get healthy, take that 3 seed, and hopefully do something with it. They're an okay team, and that's why I'm saying like they'd be just on the outside. But would I take them over the Rams, Seahawks, Bears, 49ers, or Packers right now? I would say the 49ers and Packers maybe. It's a close race, and that's only because Micah Parsons got hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my top 5 would look a hell of a lot different if Micah was healthy. You'd probably have Rams, Seahawks, Packers, Bears, insert whoever the hell else afterwards. You know what I mean? So it's just the Eagles are just they've been unimpressive to me, and it proved my point even more so when the Bears ran them into the dirt. And I will have that trash talk for the next year.
Okay.
Unless
All of that all of that talk. Recap that really quickly. Ryan's 5th team was not the Eagles. It was the Packers. Matt, who is your 5th team?
oh yeah, the Niners. I think they're Ryan made the point of like Purdy's looking like Purdy again. I get Tennessee is Tennessee, but it's still fun to see it. Still fun to see him kind of off platform moving, and they just have so many guys. I still don't think they're not impressive in the trenches, nor have they really ever been. and then their gravity shifting players on defense, Warner and Bosa are out. So again, like, should I probably have Green Bay over them? Probably, but I'm maybe in copium state. But I think the passing offense for the Niners is just more sustainable than Green Bay, just because of those shifting players that they have, and also like where would you rank Ricky Pearsall if you just dropped him on Green Bay in their like receiving core? Is he wide receiver one? Like, I think he might
Probably
be.
2. I think he's 2.
And
Yeah.
is it Dobbs? Would you take Dobbs?
I'd take Christian Watson, but yeah.
Okay. That's fair. Watson has been playing pretty impressive. But still, it just shows like how many guys they can go into the cupboard, and it makes this Ayuk situation much more palatable because they're going to cut him, and they're going to cut him for cause, and they're going to save some money doing that. But yeah, that is my fifth team. I have the Niners. I don't like their defense. Their defense isn't great, but Sal's fun. Like, what if you have a game where Sal just creates 3 turnovers because he just blitzes 80% of the time? That'd be fun. But
That's why the Niners wouldn't have been my honorable mention. I don't want to get into it because we're an hour into the show now at this point. The Lions would have been my honorable mention in front of the Niners at this point because I don't like either of their defenses, but I sure like the Lions offense more than I like the Niners offense.
really, okay.
Lions would have been, again, my honorable mention. Ryan, hit us off with your little recap 1 through 5.
Rams, Seahawks, Bears, Niners, Packers. Yeah.
Matt?
I have. Let me pull it up here. I have the Rams, the Seahawks, the Bears, the Eagles, the 49ers.
All right. And I have Rams, Seahawks, Packers, Bears, Eagles. And yeah, that's where it is before we can swing it on over to probably the last segment or second to last segment.